A circle of support can be a strategy that enables people from the broader circle to both understand more and therefore do more to assist people with disabilities to live the life that they want. Given the amount of planning, coordination, lobbying, decision making that can be required in the lives of a person with disability, for a person and their family to even have access to a regular, informed sounding board can be absolutely invaluable. So we've invited a range of circle members from all different circles around southeast Queensland to reflect on their experience. These people don't necessarily know each other, but it's really interesting to hear the common themes that come through in the experiences of people who have accepted the invitation to become circle members.
Okay, so Peter Murphy's my name. I'm involved in a circle for my nephew Will. He'll be 20 later this year. Part of the reason the circle was formed was midway through year 11 when he was at St James. It was to try and plan for life after school. So Anna, my sister, formed it. And the main reason I got involved was to help Anna and Keith. And it's a way of giving back and assisting them.
My name's Arnon Anderson. I've been part of a circle for Toby for about 7 years. So when the circle was going, there was initially I think 5 of us, plus Toby's parents. And as the years went by, it was probably got up to about 9 or 10. So there was quite a diversity of people, friends, relatives, and then there was a friend who facilitated each meeting, which was a great help I found.
My name's Bronwyn Maloney. It was originally probably about 8 of us that were asked, and that was a combination of people who had been past workers, may have been friends or neighbours, as well as family members.
So my name's Henry Coventry. I have a younger brother, Will, and a few years ago we formed a circle, to set him up for his life after school.
G'day, my name's Jen. I've been on a circle for a couple of years of a lady that I met initially through some paid work, but has since gone on to become one of her long-term friends.
Well, my name's Jeremy Ward, and I was originally asked 15 years ago when it started to actually facilitate the circle for a man who is in his 50s. He lives in his own house with quite a degree of support.
So my name's Sarah, and I'm part of Sean's circle group. Sean is our neighbour, and excluding immediate family, there's I think was 7 of us that would meet, over the years. Sometimes it'd be twice a year, sometimes it would be 4 times a year.
The thing I really remember, I felt really privileged. There was this sense of yes for me. It was like, this could be something really amazing to be part of.
I was involved with Mum and Dad in asking people and setting the whole thing up, so I wasn't exactly asked per se, and in any event I was always expecting to be on there. But I know from speaking to other people that they were quite honoured and touched by the fact that they had been asked.
I think having known her for a long time and wanting to expand on her networks and get involved maybe on a deeper level, I think it was really great to be asked to contribute something else to her life that was not in a paid way.
Sometimes people don't know what they can contribute, but the fact that they've been asked is because someone has seen something in them that they have to offer.
Circle members come in all shapes and sizes, all ages, all walks of life. I particularly loved working with the circle members who kind of had nothing to do with disability before. They asked great questions, they asked challenging questions. They brought a freshness in their thinking that some of us who have been around the disability sector for a long time may have lost. So they were great at kind of coming up with very ordinary and typical suggestions of what could happen, and kind of a different way of seeing what was happening in the lives of the person.
I suppose the natural concern is what value can I bring and how can I assist, but I'm always a firm believer you've got to give something a go, and if I'm not adding value I'll step out of it. This one's probably close to home because it is family, it is my nephew. Yeah, there wasn't any concern, it was really just getting an understanding of what is it they wanted to get out of it and how each of us in our own individual ways in terms of our characteristics could add value to it to help them.
After I said the yes, there was a bit of, oh, what have I put myself up for? What am I going to be responsible for? Is this going to be too much? And those fears were allied when they said what they were wanting, what they hoped for the circle.
I think my concerns were, as a facilitator, to try to, how would I assist the family to bring new people on, because I knew that would almost certainly be needed. People come and go, and what my role would be there. But we worked that out, and that has changed over time too.
I think the only concern was actually having an agenda for meeting and working out the frequency of meetings.
If there were any concerns, maybe around the time commitment, would have just been about juggling family life and just trying to make it all fit in. So I think once you sort of get organised and map out the dates when you're going to meet, then it's really not too much of an issue.
The only concerns I had were the concerns for Will long term, and obviously they were, in my opinion, they were best addressed by the making of a circle group.
That's an interesting question. What's been my contribution? There were elements of action and doing to support them, but a lot of it, when I look back, was more of a sense of walking with them, that they weren't alone.
Yeah, that's probably the biggest role that I felt I contributed in, that just a different set of eyes looking at an issue and coming up with different ideas, but also being mindful that it's within the same value system.
I think the way I've been able to contribute is to help the fellow's mother think through issues. I've assisted to draft letters to government, so I guess that's an advocacy support role. I've assisted just with general information that I might have, legal issues, because there are legal issues, and so and I've got that legal background, so I'll often help with that.
My main contribution, I think, to the circle is my network.
I find that's one of my strengths, is being able to connect people.
I just do whatever needs doing. So it's just an issue of, it's not about if we can do it, it's about what we want to do. And once we've figured out what we want to do, how do we do it?
The meetings are very structured. Siobhan, the chairperson, is wonderful, and we get minutes afterwards and targets, and not targets, but you commit to something, you feel a very big obligation to deliver it because of who it is.
Personally, one of the things that I have loved about being a member of a circle and part of it is kind of really seeing people power in action. These little kind of gatherings in lounge rooms, over a cup of tea, but they kind of give you strategies, they give you courage, because people are coming together, and collectively we were able to achieve many things that none of us could have done alone on behalf of the person with a disability.
I think the presence of the circle has made him feel a lot more secure, a lot safer, and he will say that. And so, that was something that I had no idea about. I did not foresee that we would have such a dramatic impact on his life.
Just being able to contribute positively to someone's life and help see them grow and change.
Belonging to a community of people who care for him, people who understand him, people who love him and have grown with Toby as he's grown. And I used to really enjoy getting together with these people, They became friends.
It creates an intimacy, I think, or a deeper relationship with the family and with the person with disability.
But it's really good to know that you've got other people there who are going to support you, and that I guess that, obviously when Mum and Dad, I potentially one day will have to look after Will, and it's good to know there are other people outside of Mum and Dad and myself that are ready, willing and able to provide support that he requires both now and into the foreseeable future.
For somebody contemplating being a circle member, do it. Jump in.
I think in the long term it makes someone's life much greater, and for them to have more connections can only be a good thing.
It's what a lot of people who are very vulnerable, they need it. because they can't do it themselves. They can't bring the people around them and sustain that. You need someone to make the times to meet, to have an agenda for what we're working towards.
I just think that being able to contribute to someone in a way that has such a fundamental difference to him in his life, in ways that I don't think any of us who don't experience what he's experienced and can really understand, is incredibly rewarding. And I highly recommend it.